truth!
Hey everybody, you're watching the Thursday episode of CCS. My name's Cody, and you're watching that Christian news show thing that I do. And quite sadly, we didn't get 10 subscribers to comment on the answer of the day last time, so I wasn't able to give out the gift card. Which made me really sad, because I was like, oh, this would be awesome. So of course, the challenge still stands. All you have to do is subscribe, comment in the comment section below. If I get 10 subscribers by Monday, then you know, we have it. And I'm recording this Wednesday, so if I do get 10 subscribers by Thursday morning, then yeah, I'm still gonna give out the gift card. But so far, in the middle of Wednesday, not yet, and I only have like 2 comments, so I'm thinking, you know, probably not. Anyways, our first story brings us to the Bob Jones University protesters, and these alumni and students are doing a silent protest against sexual abuse within the church. And the reasons and the history behind this and why it's going on is because Chuck Phelps, the pastor of Trinity Baptist Church, Phelps and Baptist Church, those usually go well together. And from what I looked at, Fred Phelps and Chuck Phelps aren't related. If they are, leave a comment below and tell me, because I would love to know that. And what happened was Ernie Willis, a member of the church, raped 15-year-old Tina Anderson, also a member of the church. And upon hearing this, Chuck Phelps decided the best thing to do would be to give Tina Anderson a church discipline. And this church discipline was that she had to apologize to the congregation for being raped, and then the church helped her move to Colorado to have the baby and adopt it out so that Ernie didn't have to be persecuted legally about the rape. To which I have to say, are you serious? If any of my Christian viewers are wondering, why do atheists hate us so much? This is why. There's people like this that claim that they're Christian and then do these terrible things that need to just go home and pray alone forever and never come out and tell people about it. Because then atheists wouldn't be like, oh man, that's what I want to be a part of, good old church rapes. And I know this is happening in the fundamentalist Christian community, but this isn't fundamental Christianness. This isn't Christianness at all. Rape is not something that biblically happens for biblical reasons. God never told anyone you should rape people. I mean, this isn't like an oops, I sinned. This is like a I sin pretty legitimately, and I know it, and then I'm going to try to cover it up. I promise you, atheists, this is not what the Bible says to do. And the reason that Bob Jones University students are protesting against this specifically is because that Chuck Phelps was part of their school board, and they wanted to get rid of him after hearing this because it was such a terrible thing. Props to you guys bringing awareness and like getting it out there that these people could talk about this, because the girl didn't talk about it till just recently. So if you're like one of those people that's a victim or anything, you need to go tell the police, because churches can't do that. Nobody can do that, and like especially churches, because churches are not supposed to be doing that. That makes me really, really angry. And we'll go from something that made me really angry to something that made me really, really happy. See, last Monday I talked about child trafficking and the sex trade and things like that, and now we've got some really, really good news. Now, it's not a direct correlation to what happened in China, but Google has decided to give $11.4 million to different organizations to help free slaves. Now, this would be slaves all around the world. 8 million specifically going to India, some to the US, things like that. And a lot of people don't even realize that there's slavery in the US, which is quite a bit for a free country. And around the world, it gets even worse. And it's sad, but a lot of people don't realize that the global slave population is bigger now than it's ever been. Which is crazy to a lot of Americans, because we're like, what? There is no slaves anywhere, but there are slaves everywhere right now. These are a lot of people that are really poor, and they were like, hey, I will work if you feed me and you give me a place to sleep, and that's what this is. It's like a trade-off. But then it becomes this inhumane, you have no freedom slave thing that it's always been. But 11.4 to the slave trade, which is just awesome and really, really powerful to me. I'm gonna leave that donation link that I left last week to Love 146 down in the description below. And that one primarily works on the sex trade of the US, which there's a lot of, and a lot of people don't know that, but there's a huge sex trade for women in the US. These are really sad events, but it's game-changing that Google's going to be doing this, which is just awesome. It's so much money. So, as many of you may know, 'tis the season for everyone to be mad at each other for promoting their own holiday. A national organization in Wisconsin is trying to bring down a banner in a small town in New Jersey that says, "Keep Christ in Christmas." Now, the sign was paid for by a local Knights of Columbus place, but it was hung by the fire department. And it was hung on 2 of the town's street posts. So it's on government property. The people in the organization are saying you're not keeping church and state separate. This is a problem. The fire department's simply saying, you know, it's not ours. We hung it for someone else. It's not a big deal. So it's really interesting because there's atheists in the community. They say they don't feel like they're a part of the town now because of the banner, which I find really ridiculous that this is that big of a deal. And I personally think that freedom of speech can be hung wherever. I mean, the fire department let it up. These other signs would be put up too if they were asked to do that. I don't think that things should be brought down. I think that things should be brought up. I hate the idea of censoring things. This is one of those things where it's just kind of censorship because people don't like to see things and they just kind of dislike whatever is not for them. So what do you think? Do you think this banner should stay up, or do you think it's against the separation of church and state? As always, love to see what you guys say, so leave a comment in the comment section below with your answer. And if I get 10 or more of those subscribers to answer the question of the day, I'm giving away that $10 gift card to c28.com. Going from that, we'll go to the verse of the day. Galatians 5:1. It is for freedom that Jesus has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not be burdened by the yoke of slavery. Now, when the Bible says slavery, he's talking about like a slave to your sinful ways. So it's a bit different than what we were talking about. But you can see that it's like slavery is not something that anyone wants to aim for, even in that culture. And then in that culture, slavery was something that was culturally okay, even to the slaves. It was their job. It was their way of getting food, getting sleep, things like that. And that's kind of how it's supposed to be today, but it wasn't as brutal back then. And I mean, of course, you're going to get some records where people were just terrible masters, but usually this was something that was culturally and economically just the way things worked. It was kind of like a trade. Instead of getting money, they were just getting taken care of. But again, even in that time, slavery wasn't something you wanted to aim for. And I think that now in our culture, in our day and age, slavery doesn't need to be there at all. Because it's not anything good anymore, and it never really was. Anyways, that's all the news I had today. So in closing, haters keep hating, Christians keep praying, and to everybody like and subscribe, I will see you later, and God bless.